The following opinions are solely those of BoatTest.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTest.com, and today I'm going to conduct a sea trial and performance evaluation on the Greenline 48 Fly with hybrid drive.
Greenline is the only hybrid production motor yacht manufacturer on the market at this time, and the 48 Fly is an excellent representative example of how well the system can work on a yacht. It's a different type of boating and one that is rapidly growing. She's powered by a pair of Volvo Penta D3 diesels, a pair of hybrid drives, and solar panels. Greenline tells us that with proper management of these three energy resources, the 48 can provide a new, quiet, and much more economical way of boating. Let's see how all of this works in practice as we conduct a sea trial and performance evaluation. We'll start our review with the lower helm, which is to starboard. Much of it is pretty standard for a boat of this size, but remember that the Greenline 48 Fly is a hybrid, which means she also has electrical propulsion. To the left of the wheel are the two Volvo Penta EVC readouts, and to the left of that is the battery management screen. Notice it shows that the propulsion batteries have 82% of their charge remaining at 58 volts, and there are 19 hours and 58 minutes of power remaining in the batteries at the current draw. Above the EVC screens is the simple power source selector button for either electric or diesel. When in electric mode and the throttle is moved forward, the indicator shows the power draw in terms of amps. When the diesel power is switched on, the indicator displays the number of amps being generated by the hybrid drive. To the right side of the wheel, we see the toggles for the electric bow and stern thrusters. The helm seat is double wide and has a single flip-up bolster. In the base are storage cabinets, and an angled footrest is under the helm. There's a window to starboard that slides open and a sliding door to the side deck. The operator can keep one hand on the controls while docking and easily step outside to handle lines or step off the boat. Conversely, when leaving the dock, the captain can use the built-in step that makes boarding through the side gate much easier, and the side door gives quick access to the helm and thrusters to get underway. There's an excellent field of vision through the windshield and side windows because the mullions are relatively narrow. Fully forward, the bow is rounded for more room on deck and below. The bulwarks are 16 inches high, and we have hatches to access the windlass and ground tackle. A pair of 10-inch bollards and hawse pipes are for mooring lines. Note that the anchor is on the port side of the hull, sort of Navy style, and has a large scuff plate. Its chain goes out the side instead of over or through the stem as we usually see, and is controlled by a standard windlass on the port side with remote. There's good access to the chain locker, and we're happy to see that the bitter end of the chain is connected to an easily cut line. The starboard hatch provides stowage for fenders. Facing aft, we can get a quick look at the two standard solar panels on the roof over the salon, which is the boat's third source of power and normally provides enough amperage to keep refrigerators, freezers, and even air conditioning running when the boat's on a mooring. 4 more solar panels come standard on the optional hardtop, which we recommend.
Now this boat has the tropical air package, and we've been using only one of the 4 systems all day long, and we're still at 92% on the batteries. That speaks volumes to the efficiency of this system and the efficiency of it being recharged by the solar panels on the roof. There are 6 of them, 300 watts each.
Up on the flying bridge, there's 6 feet 5 inches of headroom. Forward, we see the helm to port with a double-wide seat, and to starboard is companion seating facing forward. The Helm Dash is a simplified version of what we saw below with a 12-inch nav screen, the autopilot to the right, and accessory switches outboard of the control binnacle. Trim tabs are to the left of the binnacle. The wheel, which has a classy wood trim, is mounted to a tilt base. To the left of the wheel, we have 3 Volvo Penta screens with electric readouts and 2 buttons for the diesel hybrid drive system. Now let's visit the engine room, which is accessed through a hatch in the aft deck. Once down the ladder, we find 2 widely spaced Volvo Penta D3 220 horsepower diesel V-drive engines and a lot of room to move around. Headroom is stooping or crawling, but it's not bad. It's also remarkably uncluttered, and all systems have been carefully plumbed or wired. Raw water strainers have transparent tops, so it's easy to see inside, and they're conveniently located. Transparent green hoses contain coolant for the hybrid drive, its sea strainers, and its raw water heat transfer unit. All hoses are double clamped, and the bronze through-hull hardware is bonded with green wires. The red hoses are fuel lines, and the shutoffs are just in front of the single ray cores. Now let's move to the big difference about this boat that makes her a hybrid. Each of the Volvo engines is fitted with a 14 kilowatt hybrid drive. They're called that because they are both an electric motor and an electricity generator in one unit, just not at the same time. The hybrid drives are shown here painted in the signature Volvo Penta teal green. The drive shaft from the diesel engine runs through them to the silver V-drive transmission. When the diesel engine is engaged, they produce up to 10 kilowatts of electricity each, or 20 kilowatts for both. This is enough to run all systems on the Greenline 48, which does not need a conventional generator because the hybrid drives produce the 20 kilowatt that a conventional generator would. The excess power generated goes into 3 lithium polymer 56-volt Metron batteries, with each holding 11.5 kilowatts. When electrical propulsion is called for, the button is pushed at the helm and power comes from the lithium batteries to drive the electric motors in the hybrid drive. The lithium polymer batteries are recharged by the hybrid drive, the solar panels, or shore power. These batteries can be recharged, bringing them from 25% to 95% within an hour and a half to 2 hours by the diesel engine turning the hybrid drive when it's in generator mode. The solar panels automatically work to recharge the lithium batteries while the sun is out, and the diesel engines serve double duty with their alternators to charge 8 dedicated conventional batteries. 2 of these batteries are in the bow for the thruster, 2 of them for the stern thruster, 2 are for the engine starting, 2 are house batteries. In addition to the engine alternators, these batteries are also charged by the lithium polymer batteries through a battery charger and by shore power. Back up on the aft deck, we find access under the bench seat to the lazarette where most of the electrical equipment is stored. Here we find the battery chargers and the automatic inverters, breakers, and other components that manage the ship's electrical systems. Behind the ladder are the hydraulic pumps for the swim platform. To port is storage for the swim ladder, and under an optional crew bed is access to the boat's hydraulic steering system. Everyone wants to know how fast will the boat go and how long can it run under battery power. Well, the thing is, these are not easy questions to answer because conditions are so variable. Under ideal conditions, we're told that the boat has a range of up to 20 nautical miles, but that's under ideal conditions. Wind, waves, and current will all make it harder for the hybrid drive, so it will need to use more energy, thus reducing the endurance of the batteries, the speed, or both. Is the sun bright or is it a cloudy day? Typically, the boat will travel at from 4 to 5.5 knots when the conditions are right. In order to take full advantage of the hybrid drive, boat owners need to play to its strengths, and speed is not one of them. But ICOMIA, the international boating industry body, conducted a survey several years ago that stated that the average boat is at idle for 40% of its engine hours. This could be torturous to a diesel. They need to work under load. Therefore, think of it this way. When the boat is at idle, leaving a marina, going through a no-wake zone, cruising around the harbor on a cocktail cruise, why use diesel engines when free electrical power is available? The electrical motors are absolutely ideal for slow-speed maneuvers such as docking or station keeping, waiting for a bridge to open, or for a spot at the gas dock. We've been with the team on Greenline yachts many times now, and not once have we started the diesel to pull away from the dock or cruise down the river towards open water. And if a restaurant is the destination, we never start them at all. Not only is the vessel quiet, the operation is smooth because while the vessel's in gear, the motors are turning as slow as 400 RPM instead of the 700 to 800 RPM for the idling diesel engines. After easing up to the slip at 400 RPM, we use the bow and stern thrusters to move the boat sideways into the dock. By fine-tuning our approach with the thrusters, we kept the boat parallel to the dock despite wind and current, putting her gently alongside. Another strategy, when cruising in places like the ICW no-wake zones or when doing the Great Circle course, is to run on batteries for a couple of hours, then recharge with the diesels, alternating back and forth, thus saving fuel and enjoying utter silence every 2 hours or so. As long as there are provisions and diesel, this vessel can run for extended periods without being tied to marina shore power. And there's no need of a conventional generator, so it makes for a quiet anchorage. With 3 lithium polymer batteries, all the air conditioning units can be run at full blast. Unfortunately, on test day there was a ding in one of the props, so we couldn't give the boat a fair test. However, the team at Greenline have tested her extensively, and they tell us her top speed is 17.4 knots at 40 RPM. But she's a displacement boat, more like a trawler or even a sailboat than like most flybridge cruisers we test. And while higher horsepower engines are available, her real mission in life is quiet, economical, leisurely travel, where the voyage and cost of operation is more important than getting to the destination quickly. On a long Great Loop or coastwise voyage, by alternating diesel power and battery power, fuel consumption can be brought down significantly. Virtually every trip we've been on with this boat has been more pleasurable and certainly more peaceful. There's something to be said for hearing nothing but the water lapping against the hull as we cruise along. Some may say it enhances conversation, others may not appreciate that as much, but that's not Greenline's fault. They're remaining quiet on the issue, as they do.
So it all comes together with the Greenline 48 Fly with the hybrid drive. And that's my full test and performance evaluation. For BoatTest.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.